Hello, everyone. Welcome to Joe Consumes Cinema. I'm your host, Lord Aethelhelm. You cannot take your life, Lord. There is still much for you to do. I know you're right. I still have to seat my grandson on the throne. Otherwise, this will all have been for nothing. I was talking about you having not paid me yet, but okay. And today we have The Last Kingdom, Season 5, Episode 6. So last episode was just a banger. Best episode of the season thus far, easily. Lost Osferth, really horrible moment. Lost the queen. That is currently starting a war, and I expect, a fight very, very soon. Lord Aethelhelm has set things in motion, and we're charging headlong into catastrophe, I think, and I don't think even Uhtred telling everyone that he thinks, Aethelhelm is the one behind this. He really doesn't have any hard evidence to, prove that point, unfortunately. So I just don't see the two sides, pulling back in time before there's a major battle and a bunch of, otherwise very good people get killed. I didn't talk much about it, but Heston popped back up. He was the one that relayed the information about, the priestess who survived the slaughter and the dead queen. I really would have liked to have seen Heston get killed, but I don't think it's going to happen this season. So it looks like he's going to live throughout the entire show, unfortunately. Not a bad character, just, so much of a weasel that I've just wanted him to die for the longest time. He seems like he's kind of in his retirement years at this point, and he's mostly a traitor. Just stumbled upon this situation and, told Uhtred because he knows if he doesn't deal with this properly, it's going to lead back to slaughter against all the Danes, including him. Hopefully Father Pulak can make it back. We saw him split from Brita. It's funny how I thought what was going to be the central storyline this season turned into nothing very quickly and is kind of like a side quest almost. But yeah, I am very eager to get to this one very quickly. I think there's going to be a battle this episode and I want to get right to it. So Patreon link down below. With that, let's get right to the episode.
Truly he has stirred the hornet's nest.
In 2 days, we mount the heads of Saxon turds on spikes!
Even crazier was Edward's decision that, if Sigtryggr is going to take my queen, I'm going to take his queen. That in and of itself probably will make Edward not listen to Uhtred because of, the conflict of interest there.
King Edward is camped 20 miles from here, and the Danes are marching.
We must watch the young Ethelstan, keep him close. There are those that have ambitions.
My daughter's sacrifice may yet bear fruit.
He's planning to stab Edward in the back at a moment of need, so...
Aethelhelm will get what is coming to him. But first we must avert this war. Lord King, we bring grave news. Sigtryggr did not kill the queen. It was the work of Aethelhelm's men.
Will he believe him, though? He doesn't have any hard evidence.
Do you have proof of this? I've spoken to Alice, I've seen the horror in her eyes.
And Sigtryggr had no part in this.
He could not have planted, no one knew the queen traveled. Only Aethelhelm benefits from this chaos. He wants you to turn to him and his armies, so he may strut again in the palace in Winchester.
He must be apprehended.
Sigtryggr is going to beat you to the punch.
My quarrel now is with Aethelhelm. I am sorry for Osferth, even though I did not know him well.
Still your blood.
You are his true brother.
Yes. And I will avenge him.
Well, that went a lot better than I expected, honestly.
We need to get rid of him. Accidents can happen.
Aethelstan doesn't remember that moment at the beginning of the season where he got ambushed by that guy and his men. It might come back to him.
This assault makes me uneasy.
Now, just because one person can cross okay doesn't mean a few hundred can do it okay. I guess if they go slowly and go in a line, it's not as bad. But then again... Taking out the Night Watch. Aethelstan can't die here. Oh god. Stir is about the only one that can keep him alive at this point. He's got to fight that guy off. Nice.
This cannot be. Forget them! Protect me!
Oh god. Forget them, protect me at all costs. Jesus.
Too late.
You must help Sigtrygr.
No, I must stop him. Ethelhelm is the one responsible for the massacre at Rumkova.
Lucky Aethelstan grew up with Uhtred. He's a very good fighter.
We must trust Uhtred.
Those men, your men, they are Christian souls, the future of England.
They must be saved.
At least Aethelstan got out of that nightmare. They're on horseback, though. Yeah. They're outnumbered. They don't have a good formation. Oh, God. It's warming up because the sun came out.
Sigtrygr must not be armed. Look around! Look at what his anger has wrought! Ethelhelm is to blame. Put down your swords! It is over!
Let me go!
We cannot save them!
Ethelhelm provoked this. The massacre in Rumkova was his doing. In the midst of battle, Ethelhelm escaped.
It is over for us then.
No, it is not. I've come to speak for Stura. She has killed no Saxons in this fight.
And she is spared.
What of Sigtrygr?
His fate is to be decided.
Swear a new alliance with him.
You would have me pardon a man who slaughtered so many innocent Christians.
The Danes are also your people now. You must unite them all.
For many years there was peace between Saxon and Dane. This battle shattered that peace. I have decided to restore it. In exchange, you must accept the gift of baptism.
Oh, God.
Your people will be safe, but under the rule of a Christian king.
You are a coward. I will not swear. I cannot.
It does not have to come to this.
He has chosen Uhtred, and I cannot go back on my word.
You have been spared. Sigtrygr is sentenced to death.
I'm sorry. I let them take everything.
You have not failed. I will take back Ethelwich. Danes will live there in peace for countless generations.
You must be the one to do it.
Do not ask me to do this.
Uhtred.
I wish to the gods we were not here.
They will cheer for you in Valhalla.
They may butcher our bodies. Our souls are Odin's own.
Well, that sucked. Probably the best of the newer characters, and to lose them like that. The rift between Saxon and Dane will not heal easily, especially after something like that.
Who did this?
Saxons. They slaughtered us.
Uhtred Ragnarsson.
He fought with the Saxons.
The scout mentioned that Edward was riding north, that is all.
You lied to me.
No.
You used my grief for Vibeke to disarm me.
It is not
You're
true.
leading me into a trap.
There can be no reconciliation.
Oh my God.
I'll give Uhtred a message. If you live, tell him I'm coming for him.
Oh my God. What a way for it to get fucked up.
I wish to go back to my old life, Uhtred.
That time is over. Men look to you now as a leader.
Wish they did not.
You're not alone.
I wish that this had not come to pass.
Yet there is hope, even in all this despair.
Edward's victory has been my undoing.
I have no intention of slinking off into the shadows.
What the fuck are you gonna do, dude? You have nothing.
I was sent to secure an alliance with the King of Scotia. I intend to turn it to my advantage. The Lady Elfwin is without allies. You must retrieve her.
Oh God.
Welcome.
Lords of Northumbria, confront the threat from over mighty Wessex before our lands are swallowed by this dream of England.
Witgar, my lord.
Oh, God.
Witgar of Bebbanburg.
I was wondering when he was going to come back in the fold. Okay, I took some time just to gather my thoughts. Pretty solid episode. A ton has happened very quickly. I constantly underestimate the fact that the show can turn on a dime. You know, it does it so many times. I don't know why I keep doing this. I lock into one narrative and then it just completely changes. Like, I thought there was no way that Uhtred was going to be able to go to the king and have him believe him, but he did. Almost like right away. Like, too easily, in my opinion. So Uhtred gets to the king, tells him what Lord Aethelhelm has done. They set off to deal with Lord Aethelhelm because he's the focus right now. They try and send word to Sitragar. The queen was killed because of an internal conflict in Wessex. It has nothing to do with you or your people. You know, stand down. But at that point, it was too late. Sitragar had been, very proactive about this whole situation, knew Edward and his army were coming for him. He decided to strike out on his own. It just so happened that he ran into Aethelhelm's camp. It's pretty cool how, the frozen lake, how at night they crossed it without much of a problem. It did crack a little bit and they, hesitated, but it held and they crossed fine. Started slaughtering and it was going very, smoothly. But eventually the noise, people did wake up and started fighting. Edward and his men showed up. They were on horseback. They had them outnumbered. They couldn't just sit by and let, Saxons be slaughtered, so they had to put an end to it. The Danes got pushed back, a bunch of them retreated over the ice. At this point, the sun had, come up, and the ice had melted just enough so when they started to cross over it, it cracked and a bunch of them fell through. At that point, the game was up. A bunch of them surrendered, including Sitragar, Stura, and basically everyone else too. It sucks seeing Lord Aethelhelm get out of that mess, like so dishonorable and scummy from that guy. When he saw that, the attack was happening, he ordered what many had left to form a shield wall around him. Forget them, he said, save me. And it's just like, oh my god, that guy will do anything to preserve his own skin. Sitragar and his men are defeated. Uhtred tries to convince Edward that what happened here today is 100% Aethelhelm's fault and the focus should be on dealing with him and punishing him. But Edward can't just, let what happened here pass. He lost way too many good men who were otherwise loyal to him. They were following Lord Aethelhelm, but as far as they knew, he was with the king, so they thought they were following the king's orders. Edward decided to give Sitragar an ultimatum, swear fealty to me, and convert, and that'll be the end of it. I'll be your king, and I guarantee your people will be protected. His coward brother, without hesitation, bends the knee and takes the offer. Sitragar finally realizes just how worthless he really is. Refuses it, saying, I can't abandon who I am. It's not surprising, really. It sucks that Uhtred had to be the one to do it, to, give him that honorable death, sword in hand, so he could pass off to Valhalla. Sitragar was probably the best of the new characters in the show, honestly. Like a Dane that looks to the long term rather than just, coin and silver and, the next fight. There's kind of a rift now between Stura and Uhtred because of that. Edward's victory has brought another kingdom into the fold, and Edward is now one step closer to that dream of united England. But a lot of people had to suffer in order to make that happen. Stura most of all. Lost her husband. She was a queen, now she's not. So yeah, it's not easy, and I don't foresee the Danes forgiving Edward anytime soon. If Brida can unite them, she can stir up some more trouble. It's hard to see, how they would have the numbers to really be that big of a threat. Unless if what we saw happen at the end of the episode with Scotland, we saw Witgar at the end there. He's one of the Eldermen uniting with the King of Scotland against, Edward, who now they are all convinced is just trying to expand everywhere, really establish that dream of united England. That was a cool tie-in at the end there. I was wondering when he was going to pop back up. And yeah, the circumstances and the situation, it makes sense for him to ally with a northern king rather than Edward, who has worked so closely with Uhtred in the past and even offered to, provide Uhtred with men to retake his kingdom. The whole Brida storyline, redemption arc, on, off, and now, completely shut off and smashed, I would say. Father Pulik was being very genuine. He's always very genuine. It's just in his character. But when they stumbled upon that Danish soldier who, had just been defeated by Edward, as far as Brida sees it now, the Saxons are just out to exterminate the Danes, and really, there's not much of any other conclusion you could draw if you were a Dane. So yeah, I just don't see there being any peace. And potentially try to attack Edward, if he gets into a fight with Scotland, it looks like that's going to happen at some point very soon. But yeah, lost a lot of key players this episode. They're kind of dropping like flies at this point. But yeah, that's all I can think to say for now. So as always, thanks for watching, and peace.